Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
Welcome to another episode of Alchemizing Energy. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Natalie Chickee. She's a good friend of mine, and I recently found out that she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. We're going to talk about who Natalie Chickee is and get into her life, who she is, and what she stands for. And she's going to tell some interesting stories, and then we're going to get into her diagnosis and how it ended up affecting her. Hey, Jackie, welcome. So, without further delay, let's bring on Natalie Chickee.
Hey, Monica, how are you? Hey, Genesis.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
Yep. Hey, listen, everybody does that. They just say my name, so everybody knows my name. So it's like, what, Monica, Genesis, whichever one. So
okay.
But, so I wanted to really introduce the people to who Natalie Chickee is. Like, who is Natalie? Where are you from? I just want to start off with just a little background on who you are.
I'm a mom of a little 5-year-old girl. That's so cute. I love her so much. And I'm a Canadian. I live in Montreal, Quebec. I used to live in Windsor and Detroit. And I used to have a radio show back there. I used to be a technical writer for Ford Chrysler's General Motors companies. And I used to also do art, quilts and jewelry and lots of creative things, paintings and such, which I don't do much of that anymore. I'm more like being a mom, and I'm still a technical writer. And yeah, I work at Bell Media now. Living in Montreal. I'm fluent in French now, which was a goal, because when I was in Windsor and Detroit, I didn't speak French, so I made a goal to make myself bilingual, and that was really a big goal that I wanted to realize moving here. And then more blessings came because I have a little daughter now.
Right. Well, you were really instrumental in the music industry in Detroit. Like, you did a lot to help out people in the music scene there. You worked the festivals. You've done a lot of volunteer work. You've been a very a creative and fun person. I remember you from my time in Detroit, before I moved to Dallas, and just coming up as a DJ, how you were supportive and very much so, and just an artistic person all around.
Yes, it was Emancipation Celebration was one of the festivals I helped organize. Detroit Electronic Music Festivals.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun. It was more behind the scenes, grant writing, logistics, and the paper pushy kind of stuff.
Yeah, people.
So that's helpful.
When you're the person that helped get the money to even do a lot of stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
you know how to write stuff and get that money. So,
Right.
A lot of times you have a lot of things go on. You'll have this huge festival that attracts over 50,000 to 100,000 people, and you
Yeah,
don't know who's in the background pulling the strings and helping to make these things happen, and you're one of those instrumental people.
thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do. And now the Emancipation Celebration in Windsor, Ontario is actually they have it officially every August the 1st to the 4th. Kim Elliott, he worked really hard because I used to tease him and say, "Oh, look at this is the Elliott family reunion," because his family is like super supportive. And back in the day when um, Gladys Knights and the Pips and all the Motown, they used to all come down to Jackson Park and do the Emancipation Celebration in Windsor, Ontario. And you know to have that realized as an actual big event is really historic for the African Canadian community and the Underground Railroad community and people in both Windsor and Detroit. There was
Right.
also Afrofest and the African Diaspora Conference that and CGM Radio. Oh, I love
Right.
CGM. That was my
Right.
jam. And then the Submerge podcast. That was a lot of fun with the Detroit Techno Militia and Submerge Records. That was good. Yeah.
You've done a lot of cool things, in before moving to Montreal, and I'm sure you're still doing a lot of cool things in Montreal. Um, so let's just talk about it. Like, okay, how do we get into this? So you recently found out, and man, I've been friends with you for a very long time, and it shocked me when I found it out. That you were diagnosed. So how did that come about? So let's get into your diagnosis.
Okay. Well, I was one day taking a shower and I couldn't find my poof. You know how we always like to use the loofah and always like to use a wash rag. Well, one day, all the wash rags are dirty and I couldn't find my poof or anything. So I was like, oh, I just got to wash with my hands. And so I just was washing with my hands and I felt something. And that's when it was a Saturday morning and I was up pretty early that Saturday morning. It was around 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And I waited a few hours to make an appointment right away to the clinic. So I'm like, what is this? Like a lump on my breast. And I had it checked right away. And they got me a mammogram the following week. And it takes some time to get these results back. And I think it took about like a week and a half, 2 weeks to get like the actual mammogram. Then we were going to Mexico for Christmas. We always go to the Grand Via Principe, and
Mm-hmm.
and well, I was just relaxing, enjoying the vacation. And when I came back, and I took my phone off airplane mode, I had all kinds, of little messages, but I didn't know, It was one day I was at work and I was sitting with my coworker, Randy, and my doctor calls and I put her on speakerphone. And we were just sitting there, like, she's like, oh no, like she's like telling me, like, you got to go to the hospital. This is an appointment. You should not, like, I got the appointment to go to the hospital. But when my doctor says you need to bring somebody with you, I was like, oh my gosh, Randy, this, she's just told me I have cancer. And well, she didn't say it explicitly. And he's like, no, like, she didn't say it explicitly. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just, because I started getting like scared then,
Mm-hmm.
And I went home and I told my partner that that following Monday I would have an appointment. This was in January when I came back. Like I think it was like the 6th of January, because I came back. It was like the 3rd. I was at work. It was like a few days in there, and I got the appointment. And then I had gotten the call from the doctor. So I was just like, oh shit, you know? And then when we went to the hospital and my partner was with me and I got the news, oh my gosh. And I cried, you know, I didn't know like what stage or level it is. Like right at the start, you don't know. But she told me I was gonna have to have an operation to get it out. And they also checked me, you know, and
Mhm.
she's like, okay, it's small. So I'm like, okay, it's stage 1 or stage 0 or something, you know.
Right, right.
But it's like when you get a diagnosis like that, when you get that, like it's like your whole world flashes before your eyes. It's like this like a near death experience, but you're still alive, you know? But
Yeah.
it's like I I I could die. And that was like the scariest. Oh my god, just thinking about it was like makes me want to like cry right now because
I mean, I'm crying already
my
with you. I'm already
my
crying.
my my daughter is like all I'm thinking of it because she's 5, she needs a mom.
Right.
So that's when I after this I had an appointment with my doctor, and my doctor gave me a book, well, referred me to a book um, that was made by a professor here about food to eat to prevent cancers. So I bought this book. I went through this book. I'm like, okay, I need to increase my vegetables, but I also need protein too.
Hmm.
I need to cut out certain things, you know, um, like I liked eating Costco hot dogs. I used to be a vegetarian before, but when I became pregnant, I stopped being vegetarian.
Hmm.
And I never went back. Excuse me. I never went back to being vegetarian. You know, and I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything, you know, that
That
could cause
man,
this.
listen.
So
Let me
I
say
was
this. Natalie is one of the healthiest. Man, she used to be. She used to rollerblade from one side of Detroit to the other with just on rollerblades. Remember, you used to be rollerblading.
well, I wouldn't be rollerblading from the west side to the east side because I was always like downtown or the east side. So like I would be like say downtown Detroit, and then I would like, you know, rollerblade to the Eastern Market, then rollerblade to Indian Village, then say rollerblade to maybe Belle Isle or
That's
like,
a long way to be rollerblading. That's
you
miles.
know,
That's a lot.
around Belle Isle and then come back to Indian Village. So it's
That's
like
miles. That's
still
at least like
downtown east
10
side.
miles. That's
But
like 10 miles.
I wasn't rollerblading from like Belle Isle to like Alter Road or like to Grosse Pointe, you
Right.
know. I wasn't doing that. Or I wasn't like rollerblading. Like sometimes I like if I rollerblade down Woodbourne, I would go to the did I rollerblade west? Not very much. It would be like more because I live downtown. So, but if I was going, I'm just trying to think. Have I ever rollerbladed to Highland Park?
You
Probably.
rollerblade.
I
You've been
you know I've rollerbladed to the Submerged building for
you would
sure.
rollerblade your behind off. Listen,
From the Eastern Market to, you know, Submerged, and that's on East Grand Boulevard. So yeah.
that's pretty far. That's at least about
Oh,
I
that
would
was so
say
much fun.
that's miles of rollerblading.
And
You should
and I was
put
like
in.
used to be the only one like riding my bike around Detroit. And I used to tell, remember when Kwame was the mayor? I'd be like, yo, Kwame, you need to get some bike lanes in here, man. Like I need some bike lanes in my life. You know,
Right. Yeah, you should talk to Kwame Kilpatrick and tell him to put bike lanes on the thing.
because
Now they
he was my
finally have
neighbor.
right, they finally have bike lanes now.
Yes, yes.
And
And
there's
when
like a whole bike movement in downtown
I
Detroit.
moved away and I came back and I was with my girl Andrea, and I had the opportunity to take the bike lanes all the way down, like from she lives more on the west side there. Um and I would come back. We came downtown and went and took the bike lane to the Eastern Market. to my old neighborhood. So that was a special treat.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun.
It's serious bike ride now in Detroit.
Yes. And now, like, I just went there in July just for a little 1 week short wedding, and I seen all kinds of bike lanes all over the place. I'm like, wow, look at this. Look at this. I used to talk to everybody like, please, like, I need bike. Like, I felt like, riding my bike around, sometimes it was kind of dangerous, or like, when I would be rollerblading, one time on the east side, somebody almost hit me, and I had to like do a flip over their car over the country, and it was all like some kind of like break dance move where my legs went all in the air, and I was like, but I landed back on my rollerblades. I was like, man, back then there was no cameras, no iPhones, no anything back then. That would have been so awesome to capture.
Right. Right, getting like you could have been a stunt woman at that point.
Like we had fun in Detroit. And remember how I had that Schwinn Beach Cruiser, that white bike, man. I totally enjoy. Now I have a bike with gears because Montreal has more hills than Detroit.
You buying that beach cruiser made me get a beach cruiser.
Oh, it was so much fun. That Schwinn
I didn't like
Beach
10 speeds because of the seats, but the beach cruiser had a real comfortable seat where you could be able to ride, and it would bounce and everything like that. Yeah, because I had a beach cruiser. I used to be able to ride from. I used to ride from Detroit all the way down to the Southfield one time.
We used to ride our bikes all around when we were in our 20s. We had so much fun. Right. And then I had my convertible, so I'd stick my bike in the back and be like blip, and then I'd pop out my bike, and if I would go to Grosse Pointe or something like that, I'd halfway drive, and then I'd take a nice little trail out somewheres, because they always had those trails there. Grosse Pointe and stuff.
Honey, I used to be drunk riding my bike and all kind of stuff. Be drunk, riding on the bike.
Yes, and I'd be like, no drinking and driving. It's still drinking and driving. I was the designated driver.
Right.
But you know what though? When you don't drink and you're the bartender, you make so much money. Because people buy you drinks and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, I'll take the money.
Right.
I drink at the end of the night, and I'm like, I got like a little list, and they would cash me out, when I was bartending. And I was just thinking like, shoot, man, I don't think I could bartend for a career like this. I'm like, this is some damn good money, but I don't think I gotta last doing this kind of thing at night, working a 9 to 5, and then after you go and start bartending, poof. And then I would wake up in the morning and start selling jewelry on the bridge. And I'm like, when did I actually have time to sit there and be making jewelry? And then I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't watch TV.
Right. We did not. Nobody watched TV really like that. We were outside.
No Netflix. We had no Netflix then.
I was outside, honey. I was outside on my bike, outside. Going here, going there, doing all types of crazy stuff.
Yes.
We didn't have phones to stare at all day long. I feel like we talking about the old days. Back in my day, we didn't even have phones. Looking stuff back when I was
Jackie Gaines, she wrote, I remember them. We used to call them buses.
The Schwinn bikes. Those beach cruisers.
Yes. Because they're heavy. Those are heavy bikes. I bought another Schwinn when I was up here, and I'm like, shit, man. Why did I buy a Schwinn? Right. It's too heavy. Like, we're in Montreal. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like, I like it because I could make it an electric bike if I wanted to. I wanted to know if I could hang being a mom. So I got a bike upgrade. And I was like, oh, this bike here is too heavy. The next bike I'm going to buy is going to be one of those light aluminum frames.
Right, yeah, because ain't nobody trying to lift that heavy bike up the steps or up over it. Or she's really pushing that sucker up a hill.
Pushing it up a hill, like when you're not, like in the beginning of after winter's over, you can't, like, me, I don't have the stamina to make it up the hill.
Right.
But now I do, because it's, towards the end of the summer, it's like you got to build your endurance up.
So so that's what I wanted to talk about, because this had, like, you're a healthy person. You exercise, you eat good, except for a hot dog. You don't drink, you don't do any drug, you don't do, like, and it's crazy that this diagnosis. So how did that make you feel? Like, wow, I've pretty
I
much lived a pretty clean life up to this point, and for that to happen, was you think it was hereditary or what?
No, because it's not in my family at all, at all. So,
Wow.
like, I'm thinking of reasons of why, but it's kind of, I find, abusive to myself by, what did you do to cause this? Like, in the beginning, when I was asking myself that question, like, was it because I had my cell phone in my pocket, near my breast, in my coat? Was it because I like to eat a Costco hot dog every week? Is it because I like, by the way, I decided to cut out all processed meat, all lunch meat, no more lunch meat. I love smoked salmon. Forget about smoked salmon. Mind you, I did eat some this morning, but I'm like, okay, once, and this was the only time in the summertime that I had that, because you gotta live, or
Isn't that crazy?
sugar. It loves sugar, so I have to cut out all the sugar out my diet. No brownies, no cookies. What makes sugar in our body? Pastas, right? Like, all the things that make sugar in our body, I need to just completely cut all of that out. And
That's pretty much everything. That's pretty much everything. Meat makes sugar, vegetables make sugar, fruit makes
but
sugar.
but
Like, what does not make
vegetables
sugar?
make a good kind of sugar.
Right.
So there's certain vegetables and fruits that are great, like your blueberries, Hascat berries, raspberries, blackberries, and I make this in with the smoothie. I get protein powder, pop the protein powder in, instead of milk, just regular milk. I'm gonna start doing kefir, because my girlfriend's like, look, make your own kefir, because I go and I buy it, but I think it's more healthy if you make it yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that I'm doing these things that I could, like, reverse this. So when I first had this diagnosis before, because, like, right now I had the lumpectomy, I had the radiation. Now I'm taking this pill called tamoxifen,
Mm-hmm.
and
Is
so
that
I
the key?
cannot eat grapefruit. You know, it's a hormone blocker.
Mm.
So basically, in a year or so, like, I'm supposed, I don't have serious side effects. They say, like, maybe in about 6 months I might get some side effects, like hot flashes, vaginal discharges. They say those, it will throw me into a chemical menopause. I
Mm.
mean, at my age, like, I don't think I'm gonna have any other children at this point,
Right. 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 Right.
because I'm older, um, but staying away from certain kinds of foods that will cause that. But eating the things that, like, um, carrots, ginger, I like making juices, like Gerson style juices with the carrots, the apple, with the ginger, making the Hippocrates soup, um, eating mushrooms like shiitakes, rishis, uh, lion's mane. I was taking some turkey tail supplements
Mm-hmm.
before I was taking the tamoxifen. But I have a naturopath that specializes in cancers, and it was saying if I take too many sort of antioxidants, it will counteract the tamoxifen. And tamoxifen also makes you pretty tired. So, and I'm going to be starting work next week, and I'm very excited about starting work. And I'm just like, shoot, man, I got to make sure I have my work, my stamina, so I could, think and be focused and good. it'll be good for me to go back to work, and I'm looking forward to it because I wanted to go back sooner. My daughter had gotten sick, and then I got like some kind of like little summer virus or whatever, and I was just starting to take the tamoxifen, and I increased my exercise level. So I have like, the watch to count my steps,
Yes.
to make a goal to say, all right, let's take 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. Me, I'm taking 6,000, 7,000 steps. I'm like, dang, do you know it is actually, I got to do something to increase my steps. So I'm waiting on a kinesiologist that will talk with me to do like exercise plan. And at my job, there is a weight room. You know how people have like, the 15-minute lunch break or smoke break or just break period, twice a day. I could use that opportunity to run down to the gym, do a little exercise, boom, 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 and then come back up, you know,
Right, 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 right.
you know.
So do you so diet wise, I mean, how hard was it to cut out so much, like cut out meats and cut out all these things that turn into sugars? Is
It's
was that
still,
like the hardest part
it
of
still
it?
is. It still is, because you're like sometimes you want to eat a quiche, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's white flour when you eat a quiche there, unless I don't know. And it still is, because this has just been like 6 months in.
Mm-hmm.
So, like every time I eat, I know I have to eat a protein. I know I have to eat some vegetables. And then sometimes I'm just so tired, that I'm like, oh, I don't even feel like cooking. And what happens when you don't feel like cooking?
You end up eating something that you ain't supposed to eat. Right.
Right. Yeah. And
She
that,
Jackie Gaines says I use spelt flour.
okay. All right.
Spelt
Spelt
flour.
flour. I see that.
Have
Yeah,
you
maybe
ever
I could try
and
that.
she said she drink mushroom sodas. There's a mushroom sodas. Have you ever heard of
Okay.
those? So
No,
we're
I
gonna
never
probably
heard of
try
a
to put
mushroom
together.
soda.
We're gonna probably try to put together a list of like
Mm-hmm.
things that we could probably try to, you know what I'm saying, like some foods that we could probably still try to eat that's not gonna exacerbate
Right,
cancer,
right.
and getting rid of
And
the sugar in your body. We probably should even all go on a fast ourselves in general. Let's stop cancer fast. We all need this because we sit in front of these devices and we're not healthy. We're eating all this stuff. I know I really don't eat that much. I have a thyroid condition. I eat like probably once a day, but when I do, it's probably some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So we really have to work on our diets, and I think that that's just a in general, like
right, like with me, it's like
everyone.
the pasta. Like I like the egg noodle pasta, but it's like, oh shoot, man. Like I've been trying other pastas. And I'm like, man, this corn pasta is not good. This quinoa pasta, it's okay. This this pasta, like I like pastas. There's really good. Um, and I like rice. Pasta, rice that makes sugar in your body. So
Right,
I've
man,
been
rice. You know how a
I
part of
bought
like
some quinoa, and I'm like, I got that quinoa there, and it's just like, okay, I got to eat that quinoa and instead of the pasta and the rice. But my daughter, she wants pasta rice. So I make more vegetables. I'll make a bigger portion of the vegetables. And sometimes I'm strong enough to just go, okay, uh, after about like say a year and a half, I'll get into the flow of going, oh, vegetables all day, no problem. Protein, vegetables. Um, but like right now, it's still that transition period. It's like anything. 6 months isn't really like a long time. And then I was pretty like when I first found that diagnosis after I had the lumpectomy, when I'm like healing from it, I did do a lot of mushroom soups Hippocrates soups, a lot of smoothies and juices and stuff like this.
So check this out. This is called Odyssey mushroom drink with lion's mane and cordyceps adaptogenic mushrooms, L-theanine, and green tea caffeine for energy and focus. Is caffeine okay for when you
I
have
can't
chemo?
do caffeine. No, that's just gonna. No, I can't do caffeine. I
Yeah.
can't even drink coffee. That gives me a jitter like nobody's business.
Yeah, you know what? I think
Mm-mm.
something within
But right
me.
now, the homeopathy person was telling me stay away from the mushrooms for like. She's like, if you're gonna cook with it, it's cool if you cook with it, but don't take any supplements because that's gonna mess in with the tamoxifen that I'm taking, and I don't really want to mess with that too much. So I've been drinking like dandelion tea, um, stuff like that. The radiation, that was a trip. I healed up from that pretty well.
How
The
so? What is that like? The radiation aspect of things.
it makes you tired, and it hurts. It feels like this major sunburn, and it
Mm.
like it's pain free. Like when you're going through the process, like you don't feel any pain. It's after, you know, mhm, after the
Mm.
radiation treatment, you're walking back. Like I would still walk and ride my bike. Sometimes I just have to sleep and just, because it just zap all my energy. And then it felt like this major sunburn. So I would put calendula cream on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd use Roche Posay cream.
Rush
Uh,
Posay.
and the calendula cream was like my best friend. And aloe vera gel
Okay.
um, by Jason. And then I would mix the calendula cream with castor oil, and I would put this on too, and it would just really help. And I would apply that calendula cream like nobody's business. Like that was like my go-to thing because that helped the best. And then I had this spray, and it's called eau de uriage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a saltwater spray that I would spray on, and it would take the pain down, because it was so painful.
And
Ugh.
it's probably hard not to end up getting on pain pills.
I did not take any pain pills. They told me I could, but like I don't like I don't like I take this tamoxifen pill. I do
Mm-hmm.
not like taking pills. If I can find another way, because food is healing,
Mm-hmm.
and if I could eat some mangoes or some broccoli or something that's food related that's healing.
Turmeric is anti-inflammatory too.
Yeah,
Turmeric.
I have turmeric root, and I'll put that in the juice
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
the carrots and stuff, with the carrots and ginger. I like the turmeric root better than the powder because I know what it is. That's that.
Right.
It's the root there, or like I'll cook with the root um, instead of getting like this mystery powder.
The mystery powder.
You know,
Right.
it's just like like cinnamon. You can get the real cinnamon,
Which are
or
sticks,
you
the
get
cinnamon
the
sticks, right?
the
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 stick.
the yeah, that other cinnamon is called like cassis. It's not real fully cinnamon. It's kind of cinnamon.
Right. Right.
And it's just like, oh man, real nutmeg. It's not real nutmeg. It's mixed with something else. It's like they be putting stuff in things, and like making sure I'm getting real honey, not the fake stuff. Making sure I'm getting real olive oil, not the fake stuff, because they're faking the funk with the food. They're even faking the funk with some of the maple syrup. So, that got to make sure that's from Canada. Make sure it's from Quebec. Make sure I know what trees it was coming from up here.
So, do you think that the food in Canada is a lot better than the food in the United States? Like the quality of the actually where it's coming from?
I can't drink milk in the United States. I never could, but I could drink it here. But see, that's another thing too that I'm suspect about milk, because I don't know, one of my coworkers was saying that, because I was drinking whole milk, but like whole organic milk. And there was some study saying that 20% of women that drink milk get found to get breast cancer. And I never would drink milk before. Like before I was drinking like maybe almond milk, oat milk, some kind
Right.
of, never soy milk, because soy milk messes me up.
I can't even drink milk anymore. It makes me get very sick. Like, I mean,
I need lactose pills even to have an ice cream or anything in the United States. Like, forget about it. I can't breathe. Um, so mucus, it causes, like, if I drink too much milky kind of products here, it does cause mucus in the body. And
mhm.
that's a problem to have, a lot of mucus forming in your body, So, like, I always keep some lemons on deck now, and, you know,
A lot of
different things.
lemon. What
Yeah.
about like do you do any kind of sauna or any kind of other like modalities like acupuncture or any kind of western type of things to
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
help?
My acupuncturist, she's closed now. So I'm going to go see my girlfriend, Marcia, who's a naturopath here in Montreal. She does like acupressure, but
Mhm.
my acupuncturist, like I used to see Jack Chung tradings in Windsor, Ontario, for acupuncture. Mabel Chung is amazing in Windsor, and they have like Chinese medicine. I always love Chinese medicine. So anytime I get sick or have the different, something's not right, I will go first to the oil of oregano.
Oil of
Then,
oregano, yeah. Oil of oregano, okay, yeah.
yeah, and I drink my teas, and I go see the Chinese medicine doctor. Um, I get my acupuncture done. The last time I had acupuncture, it was so painful because there was a lot of, I wasn't really aligned. But now, um, the lady who was doing my acupuncture and the Chinese medicine shop that I was going to here in Montreal, they retired.
Mm,
So,
right, right,
so now uh, I'm not doing the acupuncture, but I'll go with my friend and I see a naturopath.
right, right.
But to also, like, I'll do Western medicine and I'll also do Chinese medicine. Like, I'll do both of them, because both of them are good
Yes.
um, together. Um, and I'm not going to say, oh, I'm so grateful that I don't, like, I was stage 2. So I didn't have to go to, I didn't have chemotherapy. So I'm grateful for this. And I just have to make sure that it just doesn't ever come back, that it just does not come back, and that I live into my 90s.
Right, right.
That's the
So
goal.
here's the question. So they when they took the lump out, was that the cancer or is there more
Yeah,
there?
they took the lump out and they took some into the lymph nodes. That's why they said it was like stage 2, because it did spread
Spread. Okay.
into the lymph node a little bit. And they took it out. Then they sent it to a lab in California to see if I was going to need chemotherapy. And that's when I found out I didn't need that. And they seen if I need to have it, if I qualify for immunotherapy, or if I qualify for this or this or that. So they said that I just needed to have the radiation and that I would have to take tamoxifen. And that's what scared me the most, is like taking a pill every single day, like a birth control pill, for 5 years.
You have to
That,
take that. You have to take that for 5 years.
yeah. And when I looked on like YouTube, I'm looking at people that are talking about their tamoxifen journey. There's like all these horror stories, and I went to the oncologist. I was so upset. And then I found a lady on YouTube that's a doctor, Dr. Amy, who had cancer, and she had to go through chemotherapy and everything. And she did take tamoxifen, and she had some really great advice about making sure that you're exercising and making sure that you're eating lots of vegetables and you know taking in protein.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, so I would watch her Dr. Amy's videos on YouTube. So I'm like, oh, thank God for YouTube University. But like the pills there, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like in 6 months, people are like, oh, the tamoxifen is making me feel depressed and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, please don't let this happen. Like,
You know,
I
I wouldn't say that the tamoxifen. That listen, let me tell you something about state of mind. Um, it's a matter. They're probably making themselves feel depressed. You know what I'm saying? They're
yeah,
making it. They have that. You can't. You know, one thing I do see is that there is a lot of joy in your heart. Even as you tell your story, you as a person, you're not coming from a woe is me. You know, you're being active. You're being proactive about your situation. You're being, you're taking the bull by the horns. Um, so Jackie Gaines says, I might be wrong, but I believe Canada doesn't allow all the additives that the US will allow in our food products here. Is that true or false?
wrong. No, no. We have hormones. We have a lot of stuff that they don't allow in Europe. We have like, I use this app called Yucca. So, like, I was giving my daughter shredded wheat. I love shredded wheat as a child. Coming to find out, there's a adjective in it that is carcinogenic. Maybe that is why I got breast cancer. You
Right.
know,
Isn't
because I
that
was
crazy?
eating this cereal.
Do you feel like it's making you take inventory over your whole life to see, like, maybe this is where I got it, maybe that is where I got it, maybe this is what I did, maybe.
You do this. You do this. This is like I started doing this like big time, like right after like the operation, and then it's like I couldn't go back to work, and I'm like, oh, I'll go back to work, and then it's like extend a little longer where they're like, oh no, so you're ruminating in your brain because you're not working, right? And
Hmm.
you're like, oh, let me research to see what I can do to make myself healthy because that's what I need to focus on. So then you're like, oh shit, like what's causing this to, why did I get this? You know, I always go to the store with that Yucca app now. Like it'll say stuff on like cheese. Oh, too much sodium in the cheese. Of course, you
Right.
know, those blocks of cheese, whatever. Of course, that how are you supposed to make cheese if you don't have that? Or if you're like use the that app thing
Well,
on
cheese
like
is not good
chocolate.
anyway. Cheese is not good anyway. Not supposed to eat cheese.
There's certain cheeses that are good though, harder cheese, but or like feta cheese is good. Cottage cheese, like there's this thing called buckwheat that I was making, and it's with cottage cheese, flaxseed oil, and then ground flaxseed, and then you take your blueberries, your blackberries, and you mix it all up and you eat it. And that's supposed to be great for cancer prevention too.
Really? Have you tried a sour sop?
Kellogg's is. Oh, it
Oh,
says
oh,
well, Jackie Gaines said
yeah.
I read that Kellogg's in a
It's
minute.
fighting. It's fighting with the UK now because the UK won't allow all that sugar in the cereal. They
Yeah,
ship it over there.
yeah, yeah. Of course, the General Mills and them, man, they're not doing us right. So I changed my daughter's cereal completely, and I used the Yucca app to help me with it. It's like there's this little carrot on there, Yuka, Yucca, and I've just been like scanning to see. It doesn't scan everything. Like if you go to Costco to see the honey, their organic honey, if it's real or not, it won't tell you. But other products it does.
Mm,
So I use this. I like it. You can.
right.
It could make you paranoid and scared. Like when my girlfriends was like, "Oh no, I'm not using that app. It got me scared," and so she
Right.
stopped
You
using it.
won't eat nothing. It'll be like red on everything. Nope. No.
Right.
As soon as you go to the, if they have that, you use that in the U.S. grocery store. It's not gonna let you buy nothing. The water's messed up. Everything is weird. It's I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. You gotta go. You might as well just go outside and just grab some leaves off the tree somewhere.
That's I used to love living in the Eastern Market. When I lived there, then it was like all the farmers would come in, and I tell you what, you know who that organic farmer is just by speaking to them. The
Hmm.
ones that don't, like the butchers that don't have like ethical, they're not so ethical. Oh, you can
Hmm.
tell just by their attitudes, as well as those who sell um, organic produce. Their vibe and their energy is so different from them who sell the GMO stuff.
Right. 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 So, do you have a farmers market that you're really involved in Montreal where you live at?
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm sorry, I gotta get out of high fructose and avoid high fructose and corn syrup. What were you saying, Monica? Sorry.
So I was saying, are you really involved in like? Do you think it's really key to find the farmers market wherever a person lives at to get their produce not from Walmart, not from Kroger, not from whichever like grocery store, but to actually try to find the
The
farmers
little
market?
mom, yeah, like the little mom and like here we have these places called fruiteries. There's like it focuses on fruits and vegetables. So I'll go to these like some of those smaller places or like yeah to buy local instead of going to like these big chains
Yeah, yeah.
because they don't care. And when you're gonna get your meat from there, you're gonna get ground beef from 1,000 cows all mixed together. It doesn't matter if there's a fugly one in there that
Right.
has like you know a disease. Mix it all together, make a super cow hamburger.
Right. Right. A super cow hamburger mixed with 1,000 cows and all of its parts, including the hairy tail.
Yeah,
Without knowing, yeah, that they don't. They're probably mixing skin in there with the hair and everything, and you don't know what you're getting.
you know.
Yeah.
So
So
when I get my meat, I like to go to the butcher and I see that piece of steak and I ask for the ground beef steak or for that piece, that large piece of lamb, and I'll do it like that because I don't eat as much red meat, never really. It's not that good to eat too much red meat, but every now and then, like tonight, I'll go to that butcher and get some red meat. But
you know what else is crazy? Because I know me. Sometimes I get lazy, and I might have I'll get the whole pack full of chicken breasts, and it's you put in the freezer. It's like
mm-hmm.
the whole package of it. Like they'll come in like little packs. That that went through a whole factory process when they made them chicken breasts, put them in that thing.
I
And
don't know. Like I buy it at Costco, but I make sure that it says no hormones, grain fed, and I make sure that I don't buy those big ones. Or like when I was in the States, I would only buy halal and the non hormone one
mm,
because when I was in Detroit, if I just had like Popeye's chicken or something, I can't breathe. It's like it makes too much like the chicken there makes too much mucus in my body. Just
really, it
like
would actually make you not. It would actually like cause like a reaction.
yeah, like a milky kind of the same thing that I'd have with milk. Not as bad. It was different but similar.
Hmm.
But I knew it was food related.
That's crazy. Like so, when you live your life really clean like that, it's crazy how you could tell that, and everybody else is so used to it, they don't even realize that it's happening.
No, no. Like if I need to wake up in the morning instead of having a coffee, I could eat an apple. That's gonna do the same thing as a coffee.
Wow, wow, really?
Yeah.
You probably make a juice with the apple and like
The
put
apple,
some.
carrot, ginger, apple, carrot, ginger, and sometimes some turmeric in there. Boom, boom, boom. Or I'll keep the stalks from the broccoli and I'll put those in there, juice it all down.
In the U.S., fruits and vegetables go bad within darn near 3 or 4 days when they
Well,
use.
if it goes bad within 3 or 4 days, that means that it's good. It's the ones that last forever. That's when you know there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
it just doesn't go bad. There's like something like the dirty dozen, and it's like fruits, vegetables that are the most sprayed with pesticides, and it's on the internet. So and then some of them like I put like a tomato in the fridge because this never happened before, and that tomato in the fridge, I forgot about it, and it's in the back. It was there for 4 months. It still looks nice. There's
What?
some, yeah. I'm like, there's something wrong with that. So I looked at the brand. I'm like, okay, that
No, throw that tomato away.
that's not cool. Or
Like,
like some tomatoes now, like you buy them and they're like the little seeds are regrowing. I'm like, what's this? I've never seen that before either.
you know what?
So
Another thing that's crazy. Have you ever noticed like strawberries? They like start to mold, like almost like you could be buying the strawberry from the grocery store, and it'll have mold already on it. I'm like, what the heck is up with these strawberries with mold on them already?
yeah, they mold pretty quick. But the berries, they um, they perish very quickly. The ones that are fake last longer. I had some raspberries that were perishing pretty quickly, but well, okay, there's a little truck going by. 1 second. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, the berries not perishing for a long time. If you have them and they're still looking perfect, and it's at the end of the week, and because those fruits and vegetables, they should only last a few days because you
Well,
should be
you know
eating.
what they said that Bill Gates has this new covering that's so that they're putting around like apples and different things. Is they're making there's something that they're putting around them now.
Somebody at the grocery store down by me was saying he doesn't want to eat anything that comes from America because they're putting the fruits and vegetables in something and it's taking all the nutrients out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm just like, the best that I can do is to find what's grown local.
Hmm.
So I look to see what was made in Quebec, what's made here in Canada. That's what I want. I want to go for that. I don't want my anything from Argentina, Spain, Mexico, or nothing.
Check this out. Have you also looked into fasting? What did they say? So you're going
Yeah.
through you have this diagnosis. Can you fast? Is it even possible to fast, or is that would that exacerbate the condition? Or because
Well,
I heard that
I had
fasting.
last week. I had to have a colonoscopy, so I did have to fast. And some days, it's summertime, so you don't feel like eating very much. But like, say if you stop eating at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or so, you don't eat anything all the way until the next morning, and you have like a juice. That's kind of like a fast right there, like an intermittent fasting.
Right,
It's
right.
not like a complete fast, but yeah, that's interesting. Um, my boss, he would talk about that a lot. Intermittent fasting with this Italian man named Vin. Let me see if I can remember his last name. He has some YouTube videos and made a book about the intermittent fasting. And it's good to do this. It's healthy to do that.
Hmm.
Um, no, I don't do it all the time, but I did do this as part of the to cleanse, and
Hmm.
I'll do it again. You
Hmm.
know,
Do
um,
you think that the fact that you were so healthy at that point was the reason why it didn't when you got diagnosed? It wasn't even more further along.
I'm wondering if that made it worse. Like, because being so vegetarian, being so like, oh, I'm not gonna eat this. Oh, I'm not gonna eat that. I wonder. Like then after I start eating meat, I start drinking the milk. I start yum, yay, everything.
Hmm.
That could have done it because it's like those people that are like, oh no, germaphobe, no, don't touch anything that's germy, and then You know, they're all masked up, they're all isolated, and then all of a sudden they go around a bunch of people, whatever, and you get sick because you weren't exposed to any of these germs to make your body strong enough. They would do this with little children a lot.
Mm, right. Yeah. Okay. Have you tried soursop or black seed oil?
Yeah, see, my girl from Victoria was talking about Sarah sop leaves. She said she was going to send me some, and I just remember, I just thought about it just now. I actually did not get them in the mail.
You should check out the soursop. Go to the Caribbean market if you have one. I'm not
But
sure.
I had this they call it corsol. It's like with the black, like it's white with the black seeds in it. Like
Hmm.
I've had it before. Um, you don't see it a lot, but yeah, I haven't been eating a lot of it. But when I had it a little bit, like maybe 3 times.
So there's this thing called soursop bitters. I'm gonna
Yeah,
show
that's
it to
supposed
you.
to be like the soursop bitters. That's supposed to be like that tea that's supposed to help with the cancer prevention. Like that, I wanted to get some of the bitters and mix it with dandelion, like a dandelion root, and
This place is, I think, the main one who sells them. They got this one and the black seed oil. This is it right here. It's kind of expensive, but this I have it.
black tea oil.
Black seed oil, black
Oh,
seed.
what is black seed? I never heard of that one.
So this is the soursop bitters. It's from Serene Herbs. I got this one. Um,
Okay.
but that's a 3 month supply. You can just start with this one, but it gives you natural energy without jitters or crashes. Soothes bloating, indigestion, and upset belly. Boosts metabolism. Strengthens the immune system and fights viruses. Cancer's a virus. So also,
Did you feel any different when you took this black seed oil?
absolutely yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um,
Okay.
I take it that and the soursop.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. I'll have to try that out.
This is the one. It's called black seed bitters and soursop bitters. So you combine these two.
Mm.
That's what I've been doing. Can you see that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very small, but I see what those bottles look like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom into them, but
Okay, I see it.
yeah.
Serene. Hmm.
So it's called organic. It's rich in antioxidants and herbs to promote overall wellness. And this is acetogenins with antioxidant and
And
anti-inflammatory.
you mean antigens?
It's called acetogens. I don't know what that means.
Okay,
Acetogens.
acetogens.
I
Okay.
don't know what that. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Let's look up acetogenins. It's a class of natural compounds found in the Ananaceae plant family. Soursop. They are polyketides with linear change. I don't know what the heck. It's saying a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand. Look at this.
I'll look at it, but I have to understand what it is
It's
before I take. And then my naturopath, he's from France, so he's very French. And I would share it with him, but um, I got to make sure I have access to the French translation because he doesn't know English whatsoever.
Yeah, it's acetogens are a class of I don't know. They went into a whole nother language with that tetrahydrophans and tetra.
You know what? When something starts getting too complicated, I'm like, okay, this is some bullshit.
Well,
It's, you know,
it's fruit. Dang on it, it's a fruit, and that's all I need to know. It's
okay.
soursop. It's a fruit, and it's supposed to help you. It's an anti-tumor and anti-tumor
I just
and
have to make sure whatever I take doesn't conflict with this weird, this little
medication
tomato.
that they got right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know everybody say the black seed oil. You know black seed oil, but that is black seed bitters. So it's not as bad as just the black seed oil. Black seed oil is awful. Just straight black seed oil. Oh my god.
Well, you know what? Flaxseed oil and olive oil are magnificent healing things within itself, you
No,
know.
I'm saying black seed oil. That it's this thing called black seed oil,
But
and
it but if it tastes really disgusting, does it taste good?
it tastes absolutely horrible. But the one I just showed you is not that bad.
Okay.
But the if you just get the oil itself by just alone, oh my god, it's like
Because
taking like
since this thing, taking different, supplements and different things like that, it gets expensive. Like I didn't realize when you get a diagnosis like this, it's expensive, because you're buying this and you're buying that because you want to heal, you want to make sure you're putting, all these good things in your body to make sure that you know you're strong and you're vital and
mm,
now it's like I have to do something exciting. Like this weekend I got to do something exciting, like because of radiation I wasn't allowed to go swimming all summer. Like, do you see how I'm wearing like something that comes like right up to here on my arm?
uh-huh.
Whoops, I just dropped my phone. I'm wearing like sleeves, because they're
Right,
like
right.
I gotta cover up so I'm not exposing my body and staying out of water like chlorine, the pools and stuff like that.
So how? What about the
So
water?
I was
Water is already treated a lot of times with chlorine when you
yeah,
take a shower, with like in your actual house.
yeah, but not to the levels like of a water park or a pool. Because on the 6th of July, I just finished radiation. I went inside of a pool. Oh my God. My little daughter wanted to go swimming. I'm so glad I was with my girlfriend in Windsor. I was burning. Like, I couldn't run fast enough to get out of that pool because I didn't know that the nurse warned me and told me not to go swimming or anything like that. But this was like I was finished radiation, but she told me I wouldn't be ready until the very last week of July. So the very last week of July, I went to a water park. And then the following week after, I went to another water park. And then last week I went to an amusement park. And my little girl wanted to go on the bigger rides now, like the roller coasters, this,
Mm,
that, Oh, and then this week, if it's warm again, maybe another water park or something good. I don't know. If
right, right,
something,
right.
if it's warm, something to do with water or, something exciting.
So it makes you have to like kind of fit those exciting moments because you're like,
Well,
you know what? It makes you reevaluate.
like, life is life. You got to make sure that I want to make sure that, from now, that's like, oh, like think of like all the things that I do that I loved before. I'm not doing anything that was that's like super exciting, but I'm
Right.
like, yo, what's exciting? I haven't been to a since I've lived here. I have not went to a water park. A
And
water park is exciting.
we're so like all glued to our phones nowadays. People aren't really probably going out as much. I know I've just became like a homebody. The older you get, you become more like relaxed and like and I realized and I'm like, now I have to get up and get out and get around the way I used to because I
Yeah, because you have
haven't.
little girls now. You want to show them the world.
Right. And you don't want to get a diagnosis and then feel like, oh man, I gotta hurry up. And then you limited what you could do, like get in the water, can't go out in the sun too much, can't do this because of the medicine that you're on, can't be in direct sunlight. Because the medicine I'm on, because I have a lot, so my issues are more with blood pressure and cholesterol and things like that. High cholesterol, high blood pressure run in my family. It doesn't matter whether you're overweight or not. That just is hereditary. Everybody has got high blood pressure. I don't know why, but and high cholesterol. And some of the medications, like, oh, don't go out in direct sunlight. So anything at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I gotta wait till the sun goes down a little bit.
And
So
I'm like, and you know, like how they're like, oh, you know, vitamin D. You get vitamin D from the sun. It's
right,
healing. And
right.
so I do know, like I was also reading stuff like people that have skin cancer, it usually happens where the sun doesn't hit you. And I'm like, is that true? Like, let me look into this a little bit further. Like me, I'm supposed to be wearing like SPF 60.
Mm-hmm.
I am not wearing SPF 60. I'm going to wear 50 because
Right.
I can't find 60 anyway. And then it's like the zinc, the good one, it like makes your skin all white. Like right now I'm in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I'm like, I'm not putting sunscreen on today. But I go to the water park, different thing like that. I'm out in the sun a lot. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put sunscreen on, because I'm gonna be in the sun all day long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Direct sun. You're still gonna get a little bit of sun creeping through the shade of the tree, a bit there. But no, we
Right.
need sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
they
do you drink alkaline water?
that doesn't do so well with me. It just balances me.
Mm.
I don't know, man. For me, I'm like this alkaline water thing. Like it was so big. Like when I first moved here, I get this alkaline water, and it like, yo, do you know like you can make your water alkaline by
Putting lemons in it.
putting lemon in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way that I'll alkaline my water. The other stuff that was like alkaline water, and it's all like $3 for a little shit thing of water. I was drinking this, and I got my alkaline water, and then there was this place where you could go and to get jugs of alkaline water here for free, and I'd go and get it. Drinking this stupid water, and then I mess it out. My pH balance started messing up
Really? From
from
drink.
this silly alkaline water. Ah, yeah, no. And that's when I first learned about kefir, was because my doctor was just like, what? My doctor's like, this alkaline water situation is not the ticket. She's like,
Wow.
she's like, you got your reverse osmosis, you got this water, that water, like all these waters. There's even this other water that this doctor came and he's like, it, it some, it's this guy that talks about coffee with butter in it or something, and I don't know.
What?
I can't remember this guy. I can't I can't. This is a long time ago, but it was like some aqua vera. It's like a coffee with butter in it. It's an Indian thing, and it's supposed to be really healthy.
So so
And
so so we've been here for an hour, and I wanted to like invite some people up to if they want to ask any questions. A lot of times people are skittish. They're a lot of people are in the bushes just watching. They'll come and watch, and then in the bushes they'll come and do the replay. But if there's anybody that just wants to make a comment, come up. I wanted to at least put the StreamYard link in there. I wanted to like just really begin to like start to give where are you now? Where are you now in life?
right now, I'm transitioning to a next episode now. So my little daughter is going to be starting to go to school full time uh, in 2 weeks. I start work again full time. Well, no, I start to work transitioning into full time again
Mm-hmm.
in 1 week. So I go back to work next Monday. Um, so I'm going to be getting back into the groove again,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I want to get back into the groove right, because I have my 9 to 5, and then my daughter's to school, and I exposed her to a lot of things. So
Mhm.
before, I had her in all these activities, like 4 activities. I
Mhm.
don't know if I could do 4 activities with her, but she likes all these things. Like I'd have her in break dancing, ice skating, gymnastics, math class. So I told her, forget about the math class. You're 5, you could count to 100, you know how to do mathematical things that children in grade 4 can do. So forget this. So these other 3, I'm like, maybe just gymnastics, breakdancing, and but even that, I'm like thinking like, oh man, 3 things. Maybe I should break it down to 2 things. I just got to play it by ear,
Right,
because she
right.
loves doing stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I gotta find out. I gotta see, because I don't
Energy.
know.
You gotta yeah, energy wise, like how much energy.
Energy wise, right? Like, what is, because not only I gotta pick her up from school, it's really close to my work, which is amazing. Like, I can walk to her school in 15 minutes. So I can get my steps in, you
Right.
know, get my steps in there, steps in back. And then um, her extracurricular activities.
Right. So, what are you going to be doing for yourself? What is your plan for yourself to like? What's your bucket list type of things that you're putting together that you want to do? Because I mean, I have a bucket list. I want to travel Europe and Africa and go to and Asia. I want to do that.
My gosh, I just met a woman that is right now building her own resort in Guinea. Yes.
Wow!
Oh
Wow!
my gosh, she's a new friend. So
Yeah,
maybe we can go to Guinea one day. Oh, that would be so amazing. Wouldn't
yeah.
that be wonderful? That
Yes.
yes, I told her I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Oh, she was so sweet. She was like, "Okay, I'm building a hotel, I'm building a resort. I've never been to Africa, so that'd be wonderful to go there." What other goal?
Have you been to Mexico?
We go to Mexico every year.
Right. Are you're part Native American, right? Your mom is Native American.
No, my father,
Your father.
Cherokee Indian. Was just it's no, not Cherokee. The last name is a Seminole last name. Chickee. It's like a hut. Chickee.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but
So
like natives here, like I don't have my status as things in my family. You know, they got dispersed, so they did not put themselves on the rolls and things because well they oppress natives, they abuse them, they put their children, stole their children, put them in residential schools, and
right.
so I don't blame them. So like you look at my sister, you can see a lot of native on her.
Hmm.
um but yeah, Chickee, that's a Seminole last name from
Right.
the Seminole tribe. And then there's the Cherokee Indian that's in the family too.
So have you been? What have you done? Have you traveled to any reservations? Have you been at how many reses or any at all?
Not this year, no. A few years ago, like I did get my native name here in Montreal because I never did that before. So my native name is Wapanata.
Hmm.
Um, my clan is the Star People. Wapanata in Cree. It's the star people from the oldest of the star system
Mm.
before the Earth was made. The star system before the Earth when the Earth was made is called Wapanachi. So when they said it's a shaman name. So they told me that I only get my direction from Christ,
Mm.
from the Father,
Or
the
God,
source
the source.
only. So I'm like, that makes sense for me. I don't play with witchcraft at all. I don't play with elements. I don't talk with the trees. I don't talk with the element because you got clans. You got clans of people that are like the little people, the clan of the eagle, which this wind, and clan of like the wolves and the bear clan. Like there's lots of different clans, and each clan has this teaching. So that actually really resonates with me because ever since I've been a little girl, I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ. I was raised in the Roman Catholic Church, and the priest was like, you got to talk to me in order to talk to Jesus.
Right.
I don't think so. That's not true. Who's this guy over here, you know?
Right.
You know, get out of here with that mess. I'm gonna talk to him regardless on my own account. And I did that. Um so that made sense and that resonated with me, you know.
So, have you tried any of the sweat lodges of the
I did
residents?
do, yeah, I did sweat lodges and I did my vision quests, you
Okay.
know. Like say people that have like, you know, like I've watched people so they don't trip out on you
Ayahuasca.
know, or a magic mushroom or whatever. They do it ceremonially. I don't need to take this to connect to source. I do
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't. I'm
Right.
like trust me. I like literally can take my Bible. I could ask God a question. What's the special message for me today? And I say my prayers. He's gonna answer me.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to answer me. I ask him to be a messenger of his peace. He's gonna be like, okay, do this. Like just when I was in California, I decided to move to Montreal. I asked God where I should move. I said, is this the place for me? And God told me, no. Oh, I'd be happy here. No. The will, what should I do? How can, and so it's just directing me to where I need to go, you know, and I blame that. I could just blame Jesus Christ.
Right.
I could, I could just thank you, you know.
Right. Right. Right.
So I'll just do that, you know, and it serves me well. It works well for me, and this is what I like. I like to say
So
my prayers.
I say. So let me say. Um, I really appreciate that you could even come up here and uh, talk about your journey, talk about health, talk about like eating the right things and how even if you do eat the right things, you can still hey, and then you beat yourself up over it. But let me tell you something: we're all part of the Creator. Uh, we shouldn't beat ourselves up over these things. Everyone has a time. Everyone has their cross to bear, right?
Right.
And so, you probably might. I mean, I know that you've been through some things in your life. I know personally that you've been through some things in your life. But
Yeah.
maybe,
We
maybe,
all
maybe,
have, right?
maybe this diagnosis is for you to be able to minister to other people and to share your knowledge that you get with other people, like writing a book. You're a writer, I believe you should write a book about your experience. This whole thing, your whole thing is. I mean, you're a technical writer. Do you? I'm sure you could probably kick out a book about this first 6 months in like less than a week. The way that how talented of a writer you are. You know, you're a Gemini just like I am. Mercury is the communication, right?
Yeah.
I think that's and this is the first step in I believe this interview. I really wanted to do it because I think that people do need to hear about this. Like a lot of times, people don't really get to hear from people with this. We're so busy on the internet thinking about Kamala Harris versus Trump or FBA's
I
versus Pan
have
African.
no idea about this at all. Like I'm not even following them at all.
Exactly. So imagine, right? So your life. How trivial of a thing to worry about that. You know, we're so busy worried about all these other things, and when something like this hits you, you figure out how minuscule and how much that none of that stuff even matters.
You want to do the best that you can do, like make some new goals, you know? Cuz like I never really cared about like money or anything like that, but then like this cancer situation, I'm like, okay, I think I should be like rerouting my goals to acquire more wealth and making a cushion for my child so when I'm not here, What do I need to do now as far as learning new things to making sure that I'm living life and loving it, you
Mhm.
know, and yeah, like seeing my family, like that was really important. I got a letter in the mail the day when my radiation ended. Oh, and my cousin was getting married, so uh it was expensive, but hey, I went down to see my family. I thought that was very important, and it was so healing to see my family just, for a little while, during this uh going through the cancer and stuff, and not even being close to your family and
Right.
living in a completely other city. It's very emotional. It's like, dang, man, my friends aren't around, and you feel like you don't have anybody, but I have my daughter, so I got to be strong for her and myself. So that's
Right.
why now that it's over, well, it's not over. I still have to do stuff, you know. I have to I got to be better. I got to make myself better. I got to make myself stronger. I have to make life more exciting, more fun, and realize some victories.
And it make does it you feel like Jackie was asking what made you decide to move to Montreal of all places?
There was no work. Like, I couldn't go back to Detroit and work for Chrysler when I graduated. So that didn't understand, like, in California, I didn't understand exactly how I would get a TN visa living there, of all places. Like, it's not like Detroit where you could just cross the border.
Hmm.
And Montreal has no borders that I have to deal with. So that was like a breath of fresh air. But moving to Montreal, I had a goal in mind that I wanted to make myself bilingual. And how could I do that? When I first moved here, I couldn't understand anybody speaking. So I decided to move to the French community where I had no choice but to learn. Like, sometimes with that, you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation so you can realize what your goal. If I moved to the English part of Montreal, I would I wouldn't know French right now.
Mm.
But I forced myself to make myself, like, if you really want to learn how to do something, you got to really, grind it out. So that's what I did. And that's
So
why I moved here.
I want to say, what are your last and final? What are your thoughts to close this whole live out? I really thank you for being a part of this. It really was an honor to talk to you. Uh, the information that you gave was very, very insightful about food. We have to all watch our diets, things like that, before and after a
Hmm.
diagnosis. It's just
Yeah.
important, and we live our lives. A lot of times just doing. We don't think about those things. What are your what would you say would be like some last words? No, not final words. Whatever.
Well, thank you.
closing
And
closing comments. That's
closing
closing.
comment.
Yeah, because final word sounds kind of. I don't know. I was like, oh, that don't sound good.
Doom, doom, doom. That, we got to make sure we live our lives, we take care of ourselves, and take it one day at a time. And, make sure that we have a goal and some plan, to make life fun and exciting, and to have moments to cherish, because it's so precious, and that's something that this really made me, like, I knew life is always precious with my child. Now it's like it's even more that I want to do better at my job. I want to do better by my child. I want to do better by my health and my life, and everything, and even do some the be the best me that I can be.
So, one thing that we always do on my show is we have a special thing that we say when the show is over with. We always say, "DJ, take us out of here." So I want you to say that.
All right, DJ, take us out of here.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.